Hi everyone, welcome again on our channel. In today's video, I wanted to address the issue of anger and frustration on the twin flame journey. We've all been there. There were times that we felt like things are out of our control and nothing works and nothing is as it should be. And we enter this like very irritated state to the point that sometimes we got angry at the journey itself, right? Like that, at the things that we cannot really control, because we enter this separation state. We have no control over what happens on the other side, how the other person responds. We have no control over where is it going. We feel like things are slipping out of our control. And on top of that, we think like we didn't really wish for that to happen. We didn't want any of that. We didn't even want to meet this person. It's very easy to go down the spiral and go into this negative way of thinking and feel this very hurtful emotions towards ourselves, towards other person, towards the journey in general, the whole life, especially when we are in this very vulnerable state. So just to begin, a reminder to everyone about the power of word, that whatever you're putting into your field will be circulating around, and it's just will be sitting there as a garbage, right? And it's gonna eventually backfire. So we always should be mindful about how we respond to all the experiences that happen in our life in general, but especially when we are talking about the twin flame journey, that is, we are just so connected to it. It's this never-ending stream that we are part of. So one thing that I understood about the journey for sure is negative emotions is a big no-no in this journey. It's almost like, you're giving a gift of awakening to your own potential, and expressing an anger towards that, it's almost like blocking your proper flow of energy. You're shutting the door towards the gift that was given to you. And there are even extreme cases that people are falling out of the journey if there is too much hatred, too much those strong negative emotions. And I've seen this. We choose this experience at every moment. It's like you live through that experience, but we need to sometimes just step back a little bit, because this human form likes to have things in control, right? Like we like to have things our way, and sometimes we have hard time accepting things different way. One other thing that we have to remember being as a twin flames in this journey, it's separation is a stage. It's in a way, it's a beautiful stage in which you're learning a ton about yourself, about your triggers, about your issues. You learn to appreciate life as it is, and you learn to appreciate yourself, and you discover your wholeness, and you bring this wholeness in the next chapters of your life. So if someone asks me if it's necessary, I would say in many cases it is necessary. It teaches us maturity. It gives us this option to actually discover our full potential. But at the same time, separation should not be a prolonged stage. We should be able to look towards the end of the separation. And by ending separation, I don't necessarily mean getting into union with your twin flame. By end of separation, I mean changing the perspective of separation journey in general. It's you who will be taking yourself into this more positive part of the journey. Does it mean that you're gonna have union with your twin flame? Maybe not, maybe yes, you don't know that. But you see, we are so good as humans. We are very good with putting labels on circumstances and just putting things in stages and levels and steps. We like that because our mind likes this explanations, what's going on in our lives. But I like to see it based on emotional experience, really. So if you can divide your journey, instead of steps, let's put the steps aside for a little bit. Let's try to see your journey through the emotions or emotional waves or emotional experiences as you were experiencing in the journey. Starting from the bubble of phase, then moving into the separation phase, and eventually towards the next phases of the journey. You can see how each of the stages were characterized by certain emotions, right? There was this emotional signature. And of course, this initial ignition was very powerful, very intense, very positive, right? Like we all loved how it was to be in this initial bubble of phase. And then once we enter separation, we go downhill. It's very easy to get lost into this negative thinking. But again, can you try to see it as a cycle? Can you try to see the positive ending to the separation? And you see, don't even think about all the life circumstances that have to happen for you to reach that state. It's, can you see the way out of the negativity, and can you give yourself a chance to get on the positive track in your life? And you see, I'm not looking outwards to give me any sort of special circumstances. I'm looking into me to bring myself higher and bring myself back and try to find the gratitude back for the experience that was given to me. Does it mean that I have to let go of some of the expectations? Probably yes. Maybe not everything is gonna be going according to my wish. But actually, the sooner you understand that, the better it will be for your journey anyways, because that's how we accept that life sometimes it is going different directions, and it's just teaching us to accept things as they are. So again, can you see how we can move throughout our lives and throughout our journey based on emotional waves and try to navigate those emotional experiences? Because sometimes you see, those are unprocessed angers that are coming out to the surface that are keeping us stuck in this loop. Because of course, there are so many voices around, and some people will be saying that separation is necessary and it's so long and it's so painful and all of that. And there are so many people who are going through this way. But can you go against this, and can you maybe question that a little bit, and can you be one of those twin flames that will find a light at the end of the tunnel that will not be related to another person? Can you see yourself as individual being in all of the story and take responsibility for your next chapters? Because you see, this is this great shift that it's happening in the community, that people start to question those old beliefs and they are craving for a change and they want to free themselves. And the best way to free yourself is actually think on your own terms. And if someone tells you that you cannot be happy truly without your twin flame, oh, you better start questioning it and say to yourself, no, I want to be happy on my own. And move towards and start working towards your own happiness. You're not focusing anymore on the separation, when it's gonna end, how it's gonna end. You're just focusing on your present moment, and you put yourself in the center. I told it several times, if you are supposed to put someone on pedestal, put yourself. We, as twin flames, we love to wait for something to happen, for someone to come back. All those pieces that once they come together, then we can be happy again. Until it happens, oh my God, we have to be in this miserable state of separation. So if that sparks idea in you to maybe bring yourself back, try to shift your focus towards the gratitude. Gratitude for all the experiences that happened to you up to this moment. Gratitude for every single experience that happened within your twin flame journey and life in general. Because you see, the moment you start focusing on those little positives, it will be easier for you to see the bigger picture. And you will start seeing how you're freeing up the energies. Because also anger, it's such a low vibration that it can block the proper flow, right? Like we lose the connection. We lose the connection to the universe, the energies, to God, whatever term you're using. You're disconnecting yourself. And in a way, that's how you can define the separation, right? Like maybe it's not even about the separation from the person in the first place. Maybe it's about your mental state, which is separation from the divine, from this higher guidance system that we have available, right? So can you see yourself as ending this separation and reconnecting to your own guidance and to this positiveness, and trying to bring back the joy into the journey? And don't worry what will be happening in your environments. As a result of that, you're going to be bringing more positiveness in your life, and it's going to be reflected in your circumstances, of course. But you see, can you try to see those positiveness, those little lights, before they even come? Trying to dig them up. Sometimes we need to journal about certain things, to maybe think a little bit what really happened, and even reflecting back as where the journey was taking you. So I always try to invite everyone just to not to go this way towards the anger and frustration, especially towards the connection, because connection itself, it's such a passive creation, right? It just stays. Connection just is. Energy just is. And adding emotions into anything that really happens in our lives, it's an unnecessary weight that we as humans are adding to the whole experience. So if up to this moment you were struggling with those ups and downs, and especially those frustrations, and it didn't seem to work for extended period of time, maybe give yourself a chance to see those things differently, and don't be afraid to question whatever you've thought up to this point about the journey. We are here to change this paradigm and change the way we talk about stuff, the way we define our connections here and our stages and all of that. So just try those things as you see best for yourself. And if something was not working for a long time, just try to do it differently. And, go against this negative patterns that we see in community so much. Try to be this more light being in the whole journey, and see how your life will be changing after you start doing it. I hope it helped you to see that from a little bit different perspective. And as usual, if you have any questions or wishes for the topics, let me know in the comments. All the best.